Let's go to Canada. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good final morning from my 2025 PCT adventure. That in the background is simply stunning. I set off from camp this morning at roughly 5:35 with the intention of getting a couple more miles in. It's not happened because I've literally just been stood taking photos and video of this amazing sight. It's stunning. I'm just going to spin you around and show you it again because it's just different every single little angle that you look at it from. There was a little bit of cloud on the other side of the ridge, and when I climbed up to the top of the hill and came over here, I just saw this and I just couldn't believe my eyes. It's just insane. talk about a special end to a pretty cool adventure, this is one of the best things I could have hoped for. And see how it's just coming down literally like a waterfall. I'll try not to move the camera, and hopefully you can see it actually kind of almost pouring over the trees. It's very, very slow, but it's definitely happening. Yeah. I took a few photographs and I did the usual thing. I even upped the megapixel count up to 200 megapixels, the highest my phone will go. And I'm hoping that one of those pictures at least is going to be good enough to blow up and frame, because I could quite easily sit and look at that every day. I have actually been wondering, I want to create something from this trip. There's been a couple of things that I've been thinking about doing. One is maybe doing some limited runs of photographs, possibly, and offering them for sale on the internet somehow, whether it be via digital download or print out or what, I don't know. And the other thing is, I really do like the idea of like a coffee table book, concentrating on photographs and images that I've taken from the trip, but also just a little rundown of each day, like a trail diary. I thought that might be quite cool to attempt. So that might be a little project for me this winter, maybe. Haven't got the first clue of where to start with it, but yeah, I think that might be quite cool to look into. Oh, I'm actually working my way down into the cloud now, which is quite surreal. Having been stood at the top, admiring it, now descending into it. I've burnt through over half of my battery already this morning, and it's only about 6:30 a.m. I better be careful the rest of the day. Just a big hello and thank you to Todd. I think it was Todd D on Buy Me a Coffee. I'm glad you're watching the videos. I'm glad you're enjoying them. It's probably going to be a while before you see this one, if you're trying to catch up. But thank you very much for your support, Todd. Greatly appreciated, and I do hope that you manage to get yourself out here and experience this for yourself. Right, well, I did mention, I think yesterday or the day before, that I prepared a few lists for today, with it being the last day and all. I think I'll start off with some of the moments that have been most memorable for me on this trip. And in no particular order, but there was just 3 of them, and now I've kind of upped it to 5. So the first one for me is easily the sunset on day 1. It wasn't just that it was absolutely stunning and it was beautiful, it was the way that it actually made me feel at the time. I won't forget that feeling for a long time. That was something pretty special, was that. Another one would be summiting Mount Whitney solo for sunrise. If you've not watched that episode, please, if there's only one episode you watch, please watch that one, because that's one of my favourites, and that is something that'll stay with me for the rest of my life. doing that. I never thought I'd get the chance to do that or be able to do that. So to accomplish that, I was ecstatic. Another one would be the day after that, watching that storm roll across Forester Pass where I was camped, and then going up and over Forester Pass. Forester was something that I'd looked forward to doing in 2019, but didn't get that far, and it scared me ever since. It was like the one big stumbling block. The one thing that I had in my mind that could stop my trip, or that could, cause me problems. And to get over there successfully meant a huge amount to me, and it really boosted my confidence as well. Another one would be easily this morning, just watching that cloud inversion on the last morning. Seeing that, it's like a gift. It's amazing. Or it was amazing. Still is. I'm walking in it now. It's cloudy as anything down here. And then a final one. I'll just do 5 of these. The final one would be that 50-mile day around Etna to get away from the big cliff fire. That was just insane, and I genuinely don't know how I managed to keep going. It's not like I'm a fitness freak or anything like that. I don't know. But doing 50 miles in one day like that, in those conditions, across that terrain, I'll never ever forget that. And the feeling of setting the tent up at something daft like 1 o'clock in the morning and crawling into bed and going to sleep at the side of the road. Yeah, that was a good one. So I'd love to know if you guys have got any favourite bits or memorable moments, anything that sticks out for you. I know there's a lot to choose from and a lot to try and remember, but if there is anything that really sticks out to you, I'd love to know about it. Please drop it in the comments below. Be really interested to read what you've got to say about that. And I'll give it a little bit, and then I'll come back with I think I've got maybe 2 or 3 other lists, but they're all on the phone, so I'll have to read them off there. But yeah, I'll come back and fire through them at different points during the day. Looks very surreal, doesn't it? Just like a blanket cutting off the top of the forest. Very strange looking. The sun is trying to burn through, but whether it'll happen or not, who knows. Thought I'd do another list. I can smell a bit of smoke actually. Or something. Yeah, another list. This one's only a shortish one. It's basically things I wish I'd done differently or regrets. So, first one, again in no particular order. Looking back, I wish I'd hiked solo for the entire thing. I think a lot of you know that I'm not a hugely social person. I didn't come here for that experience. If I wanted a social experience on trail, I'd have probably gone and done the AT. I prefer like my own company. I prefer being able to do what I want when I want and not having to take other people into consideration, basically. I guess I'm selfish that way. But yeah, if I was to do it again, I'll just hike solo, and you can still have a good experience doing that. I've enjoyed myself hiking solo, and like at the start of the trail, I was hiking with different people for a few hours each day, just getting to meet different people all the time, and then meeting people like Oreo and Hot Mayo the other day, kept bumping into them and hiking with them a bit and camping with them a bit. You can still have that experience, and you can still hike solo. So that's one thing that I'd do differently. This next one's only a small one, but I wish I'd taken more photos of towns and the motels that I'd stayed in. I took very few pictures in towns. It was almost like my brain was saying, no, you don't have to film and you don't have to take photographs, because you've been doing that on trail. It was almost like it was shutting down that part of what I did normally during the day. So yeah, I wish I'd done that. Kind of related to that, I wish I'd taken less 0 days. I think I've been pretty good the second half of the trail, but the first half, there was a lot of unnecessary zeros, and obviously it just increases expense, not just for hotels and things like that, but for food and drink. So yeah, that would be something I'd change again if I did it again. I'm not doing it again, by the way. This is it, done. Yeah, so the next one is I wish I'd planned my food better. And there's just like 2 prongs to this one as well. I wish I'd planned what I was eating better, rather than just kind of, I'll have that, and that. It took me a long time to figure out what I enjoyed eating. That sounds stupid, but it's the truth. And then also, I was just really bad at planning how much food to take with me on each section. And there's nearly every time I got into a town, I had at least a day's worth of food left. And I guess you could say that's probably good in case something happened out on the trail, but that's quite an excess weight of food to be carrying with you for no reason. So I wish I was a little better at sorting that out. Another one about photographs. I've been doing this a bit recently, the last few weeks. I've been doing it a bit more, but I wish I'd taken more photographs of me actually in the trail, if you follow me, like walking through. So I set the tripod up, the selfie stick, and put the timer on the camera and walk off and take a photo. It's all right taking selfies and things like that, but when you've just got like a floating head with a nice view behind you, it's not quite the same as seeing yourself walking through some beautiful terrain or stood atop a mountain or something like that. So, as I say, I've got some of them from Oregon and Washington, but I wish I'd done a lot more in the desert. And the last one for this list, I debated whether to put it on the list or not, was a freestanding tent. It's something that I pondered with for ages before the trail, and I still wasn't decided before I came. And I brought the dipole too because I had it and I liked it. But a freestanding tent would have afforded me so many more opportunities for camping in different places. So that's something I would definitely give some hard consideration to if I was going to do the trail again. Well, this is mile 2641, which means there is just slightly less than 15 miles left to go. Been in the forest most of the morning and just climbed up a pretty big climb and emerged into this meadow with this pretty wicked view. And then it looks like the trail is climbing up to the left-hand side, up this hillside, and I think it crests this ridge up here somewhere. I think, anyway. I might be totally wrong. It's a little after 9:30 a.m, so I'm making decent time. Seen a steady stream of people come in the opposite direction. I would say so far about 15 people have passed me heading back to Harts Pass. Everyone's had a fist bump. Oh, apart from the last guy. The last guy didn't look too happy at all. A young lad. I don't know. You never know what's going on with people, do you? But everybody else has had a fist bump. This is the first couple in front of me that I've seen head in the same direction as me. I did hear some voices echoing from the switchbacks up to my left as well. So there's a few people around. But what a glorious morning it's turned into now. The sun's shining. Mist is still, or the cloud is still hanging around at the low points. I think once you get up to the top of this ridge, if we're going up there, it should be a pretty awesome view. Well, this is the top of the climb that I just worked my way up. It's called Rock Pass. Another stupendous view. This section is just sending us out with a bang, isn't it, really? It's like, yeah, you've got this far. All right, yeah, you've earned these views. You deserve it. Fully expected it to be raining today as well, after what those folks said the other day. I mean, obviously there's still time for it to happen, but if I got a terminus picture with a bit of sunshine, talk about the proverbial icing on the cake, really. Couldn't ask for much more. Well, that right in the centre of the screen is looking back at Rock Pass that I just came up and over. You might be able to make out the trail snaking down it. Excuse me, it doesn't drop you all the way to the bottom. It takes you about half or 3/4 of the way down, then traverses along, and then you come up this whacking great climb, which I'd totally forgotten about until I saw a little tent site at the bottom and recognised it immediately. Just to give you some idea of the difference in weather, we stopped there in 2019 for a break because it was just nasty, basically, weather-wise. Me and Steph got her packet of Skittles out, and her Skittles were frozen solid. That was how cold it was. And now sweat's just pouring off me again. All right then, guys, it's just about 11:15 a.m. and Canada is now only 9.8 miles away. Just been debating what to do. I think I might stop for lunch before the terminus, I'm feeling quite drained, to be honest, quite tired. And I think having some food, a sit down and some food will help. So there's a viewpoint coming up in a couple of miles. I'll probably make that my lunch spot and my tent drying spot. In the meantime, I'm going to try and fire through one of these lists before my battery runs out. It's on 8%. So this one is going to be things that I'm not going to miss about the PCT. And I'll leave things I will miss for the PCT to last and end on a high note. So, things I'm not going to miss. Again, in no particular order. Having dirty hands all the time. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Doesn't matter how far out of town you are. Your hands are always dirty. I hate it. Tripping on roots and stones happens to me probably at least 10 or 15 times a day. I don't know what it is. It's just tired legs sometimes not paying attention, but hate it. Filtering water is one of the jobs that I cannot stand on trail. It's a necessity, I know, but I just hate doing it. Cobwebs. It seems that every cobweb you walk into is strategically placed at face height. I think the spiders do it on purpose. They know exactly how tall I am and when I'm coming. Smelling. I usually like to smell, or try to smell, quite nice. I like my aftershaves. I like to feel clean. Smelling like week-old socks and sweat all the time is not nice. That leads me on to wearing the same clothes all the time. Although I have to admit, I've got that I quite like these shorts now. And the top's not too bad either. But it'd be nice to have something else to choose from to wear. Hitchhiking. It's, again, pretty much a necessity on the trail, but I just feel so awkward doing it. And I hate getting into somebody's car smelling really badly. Another one, Cliff Bars and protein bars. I'm not going to miss either of those two. I hate protein bars. I hate the taste of them. Most of them anyway. Not nice. And Cliff Bars, I am pretty much done with them now. I'll probably eat the ones I've got left in my bear can, and then that'll be our little love affair over, I think. Blowdowns. Not going to miss blowdowns in the slightest. I hate them, absolutely. They're so frustrating. And finally, well, not quite finally, bugs. This includes mosquitoes, ants, anything that flies or crawls. Not a big fan. Really not a big fan of mosquitoes. And I guess if we're going to have one more thing, it's going to be nice to be able to walk places without having to wear a whacking great backpack and a fanny pack all the time. So I think a lot of those are basic ones that a lot of people might say, but yeah, that's a lot of the stuff. It's not a definitive list by any means, but that's a lot of the stuff that I am definitely not going to miss about being on this trail. So the final list, I'll save for about another 5 miles time, I think. And we'll go through the few things, or the things that I am going to miss about the trail. I've had my lunch. It's just approaching 1 p.m. now. Got the tent all dried out and the Tyvek all ready for tonight, wherever I end up tonight. Whether it be 2 miles back from the terminus, 5 or 10 or whatever it is, I'm ready. There's me been bleating on about bringing way too much food with me on this section, and I'm starting to wonder if I've actually got enough. It's going to depend largely on how far I get back towards Harts Pass this afternoon. I can make it last, but I certainly shouldn't have been saying that I'd brought too much food, put it that way. It's crazy the amount of stuff I've been eating the last few days. It's like my body just can't seem to get enough fuel. Anyway, nice view at lunchtime. This is one of the most, I would say probably one of the most expansive views you'll get on the PCT. It's right up there, rivaling some of the ones in the Sierras. It's just daunting. Those peaks and the distances you can see. I've stuck my last bit of charge into the camera and it's taken me back up to about 55%. So I have now got around about 8 miles to do to get to the border. I think most of it is downhill. I need to get some water as well. There's not a great deal of water sources on this 30-mile stretch, I've noticed. There's a stream in roughly 3 miles' time that crosses the trail. I think I'll be utilising that and probably utilising it again on the way back as well, because I think I'm going to have to carry a load of water back up this hill with me for camping tonight. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to anywhere with a water source. So that'll be nice. 5 litres of water up 3,000 feet. Perfect. Anyway, it won't matter because tomorrow afternoon I'll be on a bus going somewhere that's got running water, a bed, a shower, a bath, maybe a bath, definitely a shower, fresh fruit, yogurt, ice cream, root beer. Stop it. Gotta stop it. That reminds me, I've got my can of celebratory root beer in my side pocket of my backpack. I hope you've all got your terminus drinks at the ready. I shall be cheersing you all when I get to the terminus. I hope you return the favour. Well, that was a nice little surprise. Some of you who watched way back in the Sierra may remember I walked a tiny little bit with a girl called Ash, who was posting a bit of stuff online at Kick Ash Adventures. I knew she was a long way in front of me, but I've just seen her now. She just passed me going south, coming back from the monument. So it was nice to see her again and be able to congratulate her on finishing. Well then, everybody, it's 1:45 p.m. and I am 4.6 miles away from the terminus. I guess that means it's time for my last list. I almost forgot about it. This is some of the things I'll miss about the PCT and about being on the PCT. Once again, in no particular order of importance. So one of the big ones for me is the sunsets and sunrises. And I know you can see them anywhere you are in the world. But like the sunset I saw last night and the sunset I saw on day one, when you've walked there, you got there under your own steam, and you kind of immersed in the middle of nature, for me, they take on a new meaning, basically, and they all seem just that little bit more magical. So that's something I'm definitely going to miss. Another thing is the challenge, and I've spoken about this quite a few times in different videos, where I like to push myself or give myself a challenge to do, or just try and push that little bit more. I think in day-to-day life, for me anyway, it's very easy just to forget about challenging yourself and just go about the day-to-day grind without trying to set yourself any goals or anything like that. And this has been a real kind of wake-up call for me. Some of the things I've done on this trail, I genuinely never thought I would physically be able to do. I think mentally as well, to be honest with you. There's a massive, massive mental part to this, to something like this, not just this trail, but something like this in general. And I think a lot of people don't realise that. It becomes like an endurance test at times. But yeah, the challenge is definitely something I'm going to miss. And I think that's one reason why I enjoyed pushing myself, and I didn't want to slow down towards the end after I'd put so much effort in. If I'd have just sat back and said, all right, yeah, day 150, I've said I'm going to finish day 150, I'll do that, and I'll just slow down, that wouldn't have felt right at all. So that's why I thought, no, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep pushing and see if I can challenge myself and get to day 149 and get a finish time in the 140s. So that's definitely something that I'm going to miss, and something that I should try and work on in my day-to-day life, I think. Another one is the uncertainty of each day. Funny way of saying it, but you never know what you're going to see each day. A bear could pop out in front of me right now, you know. You also never know where you're going to end up, or I don't. I don't plan which campsite I'm going to stay at or anything like that. I just kind of go with the flow. I guess I like the uncertainty of it in that respect. So that's also something I'm going to miss, and that's something that I think also lacks in a lot of people's day-to-day lives. A lot of people's day-to-day lives are quite structured with work and responsibilities and things like that. You kind of almost know what's going to be happening each day to a point. That's my take on it anyway. Another one is the wildlife. Now, I've not seen like vast amounts of wildlife, but I have seen some things that I've never ever seen before. I've never seen one of those miniature owls. I can't remember the name of them now, but the tiny little owl that I saw in NorCal, that was amazing. The elk that I disturbed in the forest, just seeing and hearing those things plough off into the forest. The bear I saw in the middle of a town. The one I saw at the side of Anderson Lake a little while ago, maybe a week, 10 days ago, something like that. All those sorts of things. Even the snakes. I hate the snakes, but even seeing the snakes is something that you don't see in the UK. So that was pretty cool. One that should go without saying is epic camp spots. I mean, there's been quite a few on this trail. Just being able to being able to pitch your tent in some of those locations and just sit and immerse yourself in your surroundings, almost bathe in them. It's magical. The complete opposite end of the spectrum, motels. I love American motels. I don't know what it is, I just really enjoy them. And I know something I can't wait to be in one, hopefully tomorrow night. But yeah, that's just the assortment, the differences. Even the old run-down ones, I love them as much as I do the new ones. Food-wise, eating whatever I want and when I want. So like there was one day where I ate literally a pint of ice cream for breakfast from a gas station. And someone said to me, it's way too early for ice cream. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's never too early for ice cream. What a silly thing to say. But you know what I mean. You don't really have to think about like, oh, am I eating too much? Or, oh, I maybe shouldn't have that. It's fine. You just do what the heck you want. Look at all the stuff I've been eating and look at how much weight I've lost. It's crazy. If you want to lose weight, get a really heavy backpack and just start walking those with it. That's my advice. What else? The simplicity of life on the trail, and I think I've said this in a previous video, not about the PCT, but it boils down to a few simple things for me on trail. Where can you eat? Where can you sleep? And where can you get water? And everything kind of revolves around those three things. Once you've got them figured out, everything else just kind of falls into place. You don't have to worry so much. I mean, yes, you do have to worry about bills and things like that, but not to the extent when you're at home in real life all the time. You know, it does become a lot simpler way of life. And that kind of is similar to this one. It's I'm going to call it the no news bubble. Basically, you're on the trail, like I've had no cell phone service for 4 or 5 days now. And it's not like when I get into a town, I make a beeline to read the news or watch the news on TV. I couldn't tell you anything of what's gone on in the last 5 months in the real world. And to be honest, the way things are in the real world at the moment, I don't mind that one little bit. So I guess you can call it the disconnection from real life is something I'm going to miss. And then I'll keep this the last one because I'm running out of battery again. The kindness of strangers, and that can be like trail angels, it can be other hikers, people that stop and give you a ride, the people that pay for your meal in a cafe without even saying anything to you. Another hiker, maybe they'll come past, they'll see that you've got like a broken strap on your backpack or something, and they'll be like, oh, I've got something that can fix that. They don't even know you, and like I said, nearly everyone I've passed today has been like, oh yeah, congratulations, and fist bumping. That no one knows each other. No one's ever met each other in real life. If real life was the way that this trail is, or that trail life is, where people are so kind and generous to each other, for the most part, there wouldn't be many problems in the world. And it does lift your spirits as well. It really does. Like the guy that gave me a ride out of Leavenworth, he was only going halfway up the road. It was a 35-mile drive, and he was only going 17 miles. And we got partway up the road and he's like, oh, you know what, I'll just take you all the way. I haven't been up there for a while, I'll go for a drive. He was literally just driving up to a closed down ski resort to drop me off. You know, people that drive literally a couple of 100 miles across the country to do trail magic. Seen it so many times. Guys giving out food and drinks, and you sort of take a minute to talk to them and ask them where they're from, and they're from like Oklahoma or Kansas, and they're in California giving out drinks to strangers. It's just amazing, it really is. And that's pretty much my list. There's other things as well, obviously, but they're the ones that sprang to mind when I was making the list. So that is that for now. I probably walked about half a mile after spouting all that. I'm going to leave the rest of the battery until I get to the terminus, guys. So my next time I switch the camera on, I'll be on the border, and I'd love for you to join me there. Right, folks, finally made it. It's been 7 years since I first found out about this trail, and now I'm finally at the end of it. I will say, Mum and Dad, I wouldn't be here without your help and support, so thank you very much for everything over the last 47 years, and this is for you guys. We made it, folks, all the way from Mexico, 2,655.8 miles, I believe. Well done for sticking with it. Right, guys, I hope you've got your celebratory drinks. I've got mine ready here. It's not very cold, but it's better than warm water. I have got so much I want to say, and I just can't think of anything at all. Thank you so much to everyone who's followed along on this journey. I hope that you've learnt something along the way. I hope you've enjoyed the scenery. I hope, most of all, you've been inspired yourselves to get out and do something maybe not quite like this, or maybe this. There's been a few people that have said they want to come and do it in the future, so if that is you, best of luck to you, and I hope you have an amazing time. If not, just get out there and enjoy the outdoors whichever way you can. It's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege to be able to share this journey with you, and like I said yesterday, I've been absolutely humbled by the amount of people that have taken an interest in this hike that I've been doing and followed along. Thank you so much for all your comments, your thumbs up, thumbs downs, everything. Seeing the subscriber count on YouTube tick up has been absolutely crazy. I'm genuinely overwhelmed. But thank you all so much for letting me into your homes. I won't tell anyone what I saw. And letting me share my experiences with you. It's been absolutely phenomenal, and I have finally scratched that 6-year itch that's been bugging me ever since I first attempted this in 2019. So thank you so much once again from the bottom of my heart, everyone that's helped me along the way, even if it's just been a comment, even if it's been a small amount that you've contributed on Buy Me a Coffee or on the Super Thanks on YouTube. It's all helped, more than you probably know. So thank you all so much. And as I said, It's just been a complete and utter privilege to be able to share this journey with you. I hope you've enjoyed, if not all of it, at least some of it. So let's get this cracked open. It's going to go everywhere and I don't want to waste any of it. So cheers, guys. Got to do the obligatory climb, haven't we? I'm probably out of shot now, but cheers to you all once more. It genuinely doesn't seem real. For the last time, thank you so much for coming with me and letting me show you this trail in all of its glory, warts and all, and some of my rants along the way. Until the next time, folks, please do take care of yourselves and happy trails.